Good morning, beloveds. I'm using another app to stream to Facebook since Facebook won't let me do it in landscape. So I'm struggling a bit. So pardon the strange angles until I figure out what I'm doing. I'm also a tad early. And I think it's because I'm antsy. I'm headed out to the Renaissance Festival today. So here we are. All right. It is November 25th. Our title is Autumn Winter Drops of Gold. And it is definitely a poem, I think. It is from Emma Curtis Hopkins from 1891, Drops of Gold, which was published in 1970. So, Autumn, Winter Drops of Gold. It's not a poem. I think it's little, like proverbs or, Never be an enemy to anybody, for as such you would be unjust. Be trustful of even those who seem to be at enmity with you. Be loving to all. Make it your principle of life. Also keep this affirmation. God is the speech of my tongue, the thought of my heart, and the strength of my right hand. Be sure that the cause you espouse is a righteous one, for you are very faithful to whatever cause you espouse. This is your rightful principle of faith. All they that know thy name will put thy trust in thee, for thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. You must hasten to be posted in some science, so that you can speak publicly the great thoughts that are nigh your speech. This should be your constant affirmation. My tongue shall spread righteousness, and of thy praise all thy day long. Money is nothing to you, therefore you can have all that you like by getting right thought. Great possessions naturally flow to you if you do not hold a foolish thought strongly. This verse will guide you your successful idea. All my help from thee I bring. You must learn not to be influenced by the mental conditions of other people. You must know what is right and abide by it. Keep this promise in mind. There shall be no evil happen to the just. You are by nature just and honest in all your dealings. You are fine in your intuitions. Be not afraid to trust your own judgment, unbiased by anybody. This must be your life. This must be your life text. Righteousness keepeth them that are upright in their ways. Woo! The language is getting me today. Thankfully, that was the last one. Okay, so yeah, Proverbs with affirmations attached. This is Emma telling us, okay, you know what? Here's all these little sayings that will help you be who you are. And who are you, a beloved child of God? I think I must have my phone upside down because I'm looking weird. So I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you. I'm just all kinds of discombobulated this morning, and it's okay. I didn't go to the park this morning because it's the final weekend of fair, and I'm going out, one, to cover lunches today and help out, and then we're going to go for pack down tomorrow after the service. And so I was just like, you know what, it's going to be a long weekend, and I need the rest. So I slept in a little bit. Yeah. And now I'm antsy because I haven't moved yet this morning. But I'm just going to put myself in the car for an hour or so. All right. So never be an enemy to anybody, for as such you would be unjust. That's hard. That is hard. And then she says to trust those that seem to have an enmity against you. And I'm like, and that's just weird. But you know what? what she said, trust them to behave the way that you know that they do, and then trust yourself to be able to respond to the way that they behave. And that's super important. It's like, we have a responsibility in ourselves to behave as the beloved children of God. And that means that if we behave as beloved children of God, we treat everybody as a beloved child of God. Which means we don't make an enemy of anybody. When we have somebody who seems to be an enemy, what we need to do is look at them and say, okay, clearly you have forgotten who you are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the space for you to remember who you are. But that being said, I'm going to still do what I need to do to protect myself. Okay. I'm not going to put myself into a situation where somebody who has forgotten who they are can hurt me. I am going, it's like, okay, I've seen your behavior. I'm not going to treat you like an enemy. I'm going to treat you like a beloved child of God. I'm just going to do it from over here. Okay. So that's how you do that, because you keep seeing this. Well, it doesn't mean you have to have coffee with them. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you treat them like a beloved child of God. You hold space for them to remember who they are, but you are more than welcome to do it from a safe space. And I want to make that clear, especially because as women, we are frequently asked to put ourselves in bodily danger because we're supposed to be the good ones. We're supposed to be the healing ones. We're supposed to be we're supposed to put up with other people's bad behavior so that they can get better. Yet, no, you are more than welcome to do it from a safe space. You can be all of that and still do it from a safe space. Don't put yourself in danger because somebody is behaving badly and you can save them. Do it from over here. Okay? That goes for men too, but women, how many times have women been asked to stay in an abusive marriage because? No, that's not okay. All right? And then be sure the cause that you espouse is a righteous one, for you are faithful in whatever you espouse. It's like, that's a reminder. Okay, whatever you choose to support, you're going to choose to support with your whole heart. Make sure it lives up to your principles. Make sure that the causes that you support live up to your principles. You must hasten to be posted in some science so that you can speak publicly the great thoughts that are nigh your speech. Okay, what? I think she's saying do your research, do your work. It's like, if you know something really amazing, you want to share it, but you want to share it in the most effective way that will actually reach people's ears. So make sure you know what you're talking about. So go and read up on your subject. Go and I say research, and most of the time when people say research, it's like, no, we don't have labs and test tubes and control groups. What most of us are doing are a literature review. Thank you, Dr. Banasheri. He's the one that taught me. He's like, all these people who are going to go Google stuff, they're not actually doing research. It's called a literature review. But go and do it. And if you have the opportunity to run a test, then run a test. But she's telling you, do your own work so that when you speak about it, you don't sound, which is why, I started these during COVID because I thought, people are going to need something. And this is one way I can provide it. And I started using other people's words. And at first, that's all I did. And then I started to talk about it. And I was like, but I've done my work. I've done my research. And I will admit, when I first started, I don't think I was that great. I don't think I was bad, but I wasn't that great. But as the more of these that I have done, the better I've gotten. Practice, practice, practice. So I have leaned into my science because I did, 3 Science of Mind books. So now when I'm not doing exactly a Science of Mind book where I'm doing Women of New Thought, I still have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. All right. Now this one was interesting. Money is nothing to you. Money is nothing to you. Though, therefore, you can have all you like by getting right thought. And so I think this is her idea of prosperity. I think people get so caught up in the idea of prosperity just being money that they get fixated on that. And then they leave everything else out. Your relationships, your friendships, the experiences that you have, all of that is part of prosperity. Raymond Charles Barker says his definition of prosperity is to be able to do what he wants when he wants. Yes, that does involve money. That does take money, but you see what he says. It's not about money. It is about being able to. So, if he wants to take a nap, if he's prosperous enough that all of his needs are met, then he can go take a nap when he wants to take a nap. Yeah. And so I think that's what Emma's talking about too. Money is nothing to you. Money is extremely important. Don't let anybody kid you and tell you that. It is necessary, but it is not the end all and be all of abundance and prosperity. There's so much more to it. And when you remember that money isn't a thing in and of itself, it's an agreement. It's not a thing itself. Then you can look around at your life and see far more prosperity than you thought you had, far more abundance than you thought you had. And then, things might, I'm not going to say easier, but might be more joyous, might be more, I don't know. All right. And then she says, great possessions naturally flow to you if you do not hold a foolish thought strongly. It's when we do the red car exercise with Reverend Jesse, where he says, okay, what are all of the feelings that you would have if you owned that red car? Can you have the feelings without the red car? Then you don't need the red car anymore. But you can still have the red car. That's what she's talking about. It's like, with money is nothing. All right. You must learn not to be influenced by the mental conditions of other people. I work at a health food store. I listen to people all day long talk about a variety of things. And, some days, and some days I will make the point of, especially when they're being kind of, it's like, look, you know what? I'm dealing with a chronic pain situation. I'm actually in screaming pain standing here talking to you. And they're like, what? And it's like, your condition is not as bad as you think it is. And it's not that I want to make them feel, I don't want pity for me. It's like, look, there are things that you can do to support what you are going through. And you just have to kind of break that mindset that people have got. People have said, because people will walk in and say things and you're like, no. There's a whole lot that gets said in where I work that I'm just like, I'm not willing to take that on. I'm not willing to be influenced by your idea of, I have a chronic condition and I'm not willing to let it, I've let it slow me down because it was necessary, but I haven't let it stop me. And that's the point of me saying, hey, you know what? I have a chronic condition too. And you can still go on and live the life that you want. And maybe you need to stop listening to all of these people who are telling you this. It's part of the reason why I quit watching the news for the most part. Like, I watch the local news because I want to know what's going on in my community. But I don't watch the national news because, are you kidding me? I don't want other people's mental conditions to influence me. So, and And then you are by nature just and honest in all your dealings. You are fine in your intuitions. Be not afraid to trust your own judgment unbiased by anybody. This must be your life text. Okay. You are by nature just and honest. You want a mission today? There it is. I frequently say, in fact, I pretty much say it every day, that you want to peel back the layers of who you have been told you are and get to know who God knows you to be. That's who God knows you to be. God knows you to be just and honest. That is who he created. That's who God created. That's who God created. To be, God created, Spirit created the just and honest person. The choices that we've made beyond that is, it's called free will. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to go back to who God knows us to be. The just and honest. The just and honest. And we can look at the choices that we made. And here's the thing. We don't have to beat ourselves up for the choices that we have made that have not worked out the way. It's what Maya Angelou says. When we knew better, we did better. So that's part of it. When we knew better, we did better. So that's why I'm a big believer in going back to that, to peel back the layers of everything, especially society and culture and religion, because all of them have very specific ideas. And me as a woman, I can give you a whole list of expectations that I don't live up to. But they're not my expectations, and I choose not to live up to them. And I like to peel off the gender normative part too, because there's a whole lot of expectations as a female, as a woman, as I said, that are gender based, but aren't real. And so I choose not to live up to them, or down to them in some cases. It's like, I peel all of that away to get to know who God created me to be, who God created me as. And I always start with the line, I'm a beloved child of God. What does that mean? Well, who's the most beloved child of God that you know? The best example that we have is Jesus. He was the one who was fully in touch with his Christ nature. He knew who he was. He knew who he was in relation to God. He knew who he was in relation to Spirit. And look at all of the amazing things that he did. That's the goal. That is the goal. And Emma knows it because that's what she said. She says, you are just and honest. So that's the mission today, is to get to know that. All right. The rest of the mission, the other part of it, is the spiritual practice of self-care. To do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. I.e. this morning, I chose not to go to the park. I chose to get an extra hour of sleep so that I could get up and go and handle my business out at the Texas Renaissance Festival, which I'll be leaving shortly. And to, so that, to take care of myself, so that I will survive the 2 days out there. Cause the weather is perfect, and yeah, I'm gonna go get out in that. All right. And with the love, kind, and compassionate, it can be one thing, it can be three things, it can be all things. That is the end goal, is that everything you do, including the tough stuff, is loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself. So I also want to remind you that, okay. I'm not sure I'm quite awake yet because I haven't moved my body yet. Some basic suggestions. To take a deep breath before you speak. Take that pause and think about what you speak. Turn your whatever's going to come flying out of your mouth from a reaction to a response. To take a nap, to take a break, to take a walk, to eat dessert first, which means, I believe, chocolate is the first step to fixing anything. But it also means to not save the good stuff. I've got a few phrases that I started using around that, to go out of your way to make the ordinary extraordinary a little more often, or don't wait for a special occasion, make it a special occasion. Okay. We don't know how long we've got. So wear the fancy clothes now, eat the interesting food now, use the fancy dishware now. Don't save it for a special occasion. Your life is a special occasion. Treat it as such. All right. I would also encourage you to make room for joy. I like to remind you that joy is a quality of God, therefore joy is a quality of you. Make room for joy. It's extraordinarily important. It does not matter what is going on in your life. It doesn't matter what is going on in the world. You still deserve joy. So please make room for that. Okay. Yep. All right. The rest of the suggestions are basic and easy. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. You know this. I talk about it all the time. Your brain works better, your body works better, and your skin looks better when you're well hydrated. Get that early in your day bright light. That 5 to 10 minutes of bright light will help to reset your circadian rhythms. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. I'm working on it. Yeah. I need a little more sleep than I'm getting, and my body has finally taken that choice away from me and is like, okay, well, if you're not going to go to bed, we're going to nap for a couple hours on the couch. Then you can go to bed. So, those circadian rhythms are kind of important. So get that early in your day bright light. It'll help. And you can also Google sun lamp or seasonal effect disorder lights. Because at this point, I think there are light bulbs that you can screw in a lamp you already have. Okay. It really does go a long way to resetting your hormones. And that is super important for a whole lot of things. And then the last one is open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. What does that mean? It means that heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It means that you don't have to get to a physical place. You learn to create that mindset for yourself, and it goes a long way to doing that for you. So bear that in mind. All right. Whatever else I was about to say is gone. So here we are. All right. Take Emma Curtis Hopkins' advice. If you're creating that heavenly mindset, look for the good and praise it. Look for the good and praise it. Okay. Science does tell you gratitude is actually one of the best ways to change your mood and to change your mind. So count your blessings, look for the good and praise it. It's another way to say it. Volunteer service, that goes a long way to helping with actual mood changes, and random acts of kindness. So, all right, beloveds, I'm at the part where, this is the social media part. Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I thoroughly encourage you to go check them all out, especially the YouTube channels. There's hours of content on both YouTube channels, including I read you the book, This Thing Called You. No commentary, straight read. It's on both YouTube channels. So feel free to avail yourself of that. It's a wonderful book. It is my favorite Ernest Holmes book. And it's probably in every Science of Mind minister's top 5. So, all right. Yep. Nope. Now email info@creativelife.org if you want to know what's going on with the center. That's a constant contact. You get one email a week, and it will, I don't know what I was about to say. The hot links are hot. Okay. Now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, a knowing who you are day, a trusting your intuitions day, a realizing what money is day, it's good for Small Business Saturday, right? A getting to know yourself day, a loving day, a kind day, a compassionate day, a gratitude day, a getting stuff done day, a go play day, a take a nap day if you need that, a good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented always and forever. Get to know the truth of your being. I've already said it. I'm not going to belabor it. Get to know the truth of your being. All right. Whew. And now I'm going to remind you, Reverend David will be on around. I said you're a beloved child of God. I didn't say the rest of it. I like the rest of it. That you are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, a godling. Okay? I just like that part. So I made it up. I mean, I pulled it together. I did the spirit in motion, God in action. I got that from somewhere. Clearly, I got the divine spark because we heard it in one of the readings earlier this month. So now I will remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. And since today is Saturday and tomorrow is Sunday, that means we will have an amazing service for you at 11 a.m. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.